4:32 p.m. and this is Board of Education special call session. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. I'm telling you, I'd like to just say, first of all, I've actually been doing this afternoon for a procedure. So if my speech is a little bit different, and if my mouth looks funny, that's why. I'm just now getting
Okay,
the.
thank you. I thought you.
Yeah, you thought I was having a stroke or something.
I thought you had a little stroke. I was
Yeah,
worried.
so I wanted to explain that if it's a little funny, I'm just now getting the feeling back in it, and so, I just wanted to apologize for that in advance. You see our agenda before us this evening, and we do have 3 members here. We have myself, we have our vice chair, Mr. Rouse, and we have our board member, Mr. Harris here, so we have enough to make a quorum for decisions to be made. And I'm asking our board members that are here, you see the agenda before you, is there a motion to approve the agenda that we see before us? The motion has been made by Mr. Rouse, is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Harris. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, that motion carries unanimously. And Ms. Blackshear normally gives us our ethics statement, but I'll try to muddle through for us. We, as the board members, as the Board of Education, we commit to operating in an ethical manner and not having any conflicts of interest or dealing with those appropriately. Does anyone have a conflict of interest on our proposed agenda before us this evening? Seeing no, we'll move on. Hey, Ms. Blackshear, we muddled through our ethics statement, so we can move on with that. And the first thing on our business agenda, and the only thing there, and before that, do you want to speak first? Okay. All right, Mr. Dixon's going to talk about our school closing before that happens.
Thank you. Ms. Stokes, 5th board member, is en route. She's on 18, stuck in traffic. They're doing some construction. Okay, all right, so she's on her way. But I would like to talk about our school closing, or our issue that we have before us. As everyone that here is aware, that we are going through some trying times right now as it relates to the issue that we have at hand. We have been in constant contact with our board members as it relates to, and it evolves and it changes minute by minute as we're being updated. I met this morning with our Twiggs County EMA, with all of our community stakeholders. The meeting was well attended. It was a room full there at the EMA office, and I believe everybody is on board and on one accord as to our plan of moving forward. I met with the staff this afternoon, giving them as much information as we had up until 4:30, and letting them know that full plan would be unfolded and emailed out to them after the 4:30 meeting. So at this point in time, we have a plan. We did push out the educational plan to the students. We put some educational materials in their hand. We put our electronic plan out to the parents. We made a robocall today. Ms. Sandra Stanley, our nutrition director, has submitted the plan to the state so that we will be able to serve meals to the community, to our students, and that plan has to be approved. And once that plan is approved, we will immediately start serving meals, breakfast and lunch for that. We would then take our transportation department and some of our classified staff to send them out, and we would run our bus routes So it would almost be, it would mirror our bus routes. So students would know just where they catch the bus at, that's where they would, pick up their, meals from. And we would have a time schedule that we would publish, out, with that. Students, we're in school today. Today will be the last day for this week. Once we finish with this meeting today, we will talk about, where we are with that and reference to that. Our certified staff, will be through, will be here Tuesday and Wednesday. And we will need to talk about our classified staff, today. Beyond that, we will be doing a deep cleaning of our building on, Thursday and Friday of this week. Our administrative staff will be working from the board office, this week. And we will be working on things like our student handbooks, our organizational charts, and things that we need to be doing, closing out the year, opening up, the new year. It'll just give us some time to do some strategic planning. We also have our SACS plan that we have to go through next year. This will be an opportunity time for us to work on some of those types of things, as we're working through that. So I think I have maybe two things that we need to talk about briefly. One being, how do we account for our hours with our, hourly workers, our classified staff, work. And then, most of the districts are closed through the 27th. What is going to be our pleasure? We had talked previously that we would, look at it on Friday. Is that what we would like to do, or would we like to go ahead and make that decision? I was under the impression that we would probably get something from higher up, and that's why I did not want to make that decision, prematurely, on this weekend, but that did not come out today. But most of the districts, Bleckley, Houston, Bibb, Wilkerson, Jones, Lawrence, Dublin, so that's where we are right now, where we gotta fit in. And so the other thing would be, how do we account for our classified staff, and how would we account for that? Those options.
The information that I've been seeing from the CDC and other things will be, the suggestion is a 15-day closure for that distancing to help slow the virus down. So, my suggestion would be until the 27th, and then look at it then, and then make a decision as to what's next then maybe by then we would have more information.
Mr. Vice Chair.
No, I was gonna say, because if we do have to change that date, I'm sure we can.
Yes.
I think you could change it for longer. Is that what you're talking about, Ms. Blackshear? For longer, but not short, if it needed to be done.
Yeah, I think, 27 sound like a good, time frame for right now. And like I said, we look at it closer after that.
Okay. And I believe we would have a meeting that week anyway. Mr. Harris?
What is the staff, recommendation?
I didn't get a recommendation from the staff. The staff won't go home.
Let me ask you this question about, I know you said that you're gonna have the staff coming in Thursday, Friday. And you said, are they behind on something, or is it, you saying they're gonna be working on the strategic plan? I'm just wondering why they're coming in. I know the nutritious, cause we gotta feed the children. But for is the I mean, is it something that the other systems are doing too? Or are we just needing the extra? Just wondering why they coming.
It's something that we need to work on. We have some new staff, with us. We've got, the plan is evolving. It's something that we need to, it would give us good, a good heads up. But, that would just be my recommendation, but it would give us some good heads up for this group. That's open for discussion. And it also keeps us around to make sure that, there's just loose ends with calls and things of that nature. We try to keep the buildings closed, so if there's, you know, a call, you know, we can still kinda answer a call or two or whatever.
So the recommendation is again what?
The recommendation will be, to close until the 27th of March. And,
Which is 15 days.
would be,
It's right at, it's not quite 2 weeks. But to look at it again
we would review
before
it,
that time.
yes, we would meet on the 24th.
Okay. So if we do close, as of, okay. What does that look like on the back end? For extended days for the regular school session?
Well, these will be instructional days for the students,
Mm-hmm.
so it wouldn't be any back-end days.
Okay,
And that's one of the reasons why I'm bringing the staff in too.
okay. So there are no makeup days in May?
Correct.
Okay. Anything beyond the 27th is what?
We haven't looked at anything beyond the 27th.
So if we do have to close beyond those days, that would interrupt instructional days.
As of right now, the state school superintendent, he has suspended the accountability right now. So I'm almost leaning that he's going to almost do something in regards with that too. Because we just got that this afternoon about 4 o'clock
Even the testing,
with testing, so since it's been suspended. So I just think this is some uncharted waters that we've never been in before. And with us having to finish everything by June 30th. And that's gonna be, Mr. Harris, left up to the board. As to
So
how we
really,
go.
we just don't know. We just don't know yet what the expectations.
As of up to the 27th, no one is making any of those days.
And that was two parts. Your second part was in reference to hours for
Hourly.
hourly staff. Okay. And those departments are consisted of whom?
Classified employees, payrolls, bus drivers, clerical.
And these are our full-time employees, so if we had some full-time subs, they're not
They're not.
working, so they're not,
They're
we
not
don't
paid.
worry about
We don't have to worry about
we
that.
don't do that. So those are our full-time or our permanent employees.
Correct.
There's no action plan on the table for these hours to be worked.
We need to discuss it. These are my thoughts, because we're gonna have to have our bus drivers to run the routes with our, dispensing, our food, with that, so that will take care of our transportation department. We will need some assistance, if our bus drivers are taking the food, our paras could, be, on the bus to help dispense it, to take him, helping get it out. So our bus drivers are not trying to drive and hand it, to our students.
It's parents, bus drivers, and what was the third one? Or your clerical?
Our clerical, was, you know, the clerical people that are here in the office, we still got to cut checks, we still got to get ready for payroll.
Your clerical was just district or?
District and school level, so they still have to cut checks, they still have to get time ready to submit, so.
And custodial?
Custodial's gonna be cleaning, the building to get it, functional, get it ready. So there are other things that they can be doing. So we just have to have a plan for them as well. And some of them will, once we get the building done, they will be on that, rotation of helping us make sure we get our lunches and things out as well.
So is there any, are there any groups of people who not, that are not in the groups that you just said? That's everybody.
That's everybody as far as hourly? That's what your question was? And your response was?
Yes.
Yes,
Before, until we, make a plan, or have an action plan, for the hourly, employees, a sound plan, I'm not willing to vote on the days just yet. So that would be a discussion of personnel.
Is that something that we have to vote on? Is that administrative decision?
Do you know how many buses is gonna be in route?
we're gonna
Not
run our,
sure yet.
we're gonna run our regular bus route, so it'll be familiar to our kids. Mm-hmm,
And you said breakfast and lunch, right?
yes,
So we would literally go from house to house to drop off
just pretty much,
breakfast and lunch? So two runs a day?
one,
One, you drop off
when
breakfast
we
and lunch
take
at one
it
time?
at one time. And we can talk about this in person, in the executive session, and bring it out. Okay.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. All right, so, we'll move on to our business agenda, and item A under our business agenda is FY '21 budget review.
Good afternoon, Board Chair, Vice Chair, Board members, Superintendent Dixon. In our last meeting, one of the items that was still outstanding was our administrative supplements. According to our calendar, the 24th of this month, we will be seeking approval of that. So we have the opportunity to review this, get an additional feedback, if any, and to address any concerns that may still be present at this time. And I have some copies for you all as well. The actual budget forecast is scheduled for the 24th as well, so you'll see more information as relates to that on the 24th, according to the calendar.
Mr. Rouse.
So we didn't think this is the action or information item tonight.
Information.
Why would we?
Information, yeah, but we have a approval date set on the calendar for the 24th, so it really shouldn't be action tonight. So the 24th of March, the next board meeting, according to the budget calendar, we have approval of this said thing. So I built in at least 30 days to 45 days to review
Okay.
and approve. So this will be considered information item tonight.
Tonight, and then on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Just receive any comments or feedback as we move forward, so we'll know what we need to look at.
If we made amendments to it tonight, it wouldn't push your date back on the 24th, would it?
It should not, unless there's other discussion we
If
can
there's
have
any changes, we would need to know to make those
to make those changes.
changes.
To be presented again on the 24th?
To be read on the, that's right, on the 24th.
And to be voted on the 24th.
Correct. That was the plan, the rollout. Do you have another one of those sheets?
Yes, sir. How many?
One? You got one? Yeah, let me have one.
I just said that.
We needed to-
Yeah, we need two, gentlemen.
Okay.
Thank you.
The same information we had last week, that's in,
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
We're in our board meeting right now. Well, we'll be out until 27th,
That's the EMA director, he said he was.
March 27th.
Any other questions about the budget?
Did I miss something?
Okay, so we're gonna move on, and I entertain a motion to move into executive session for personnel reasons. The motion's been made by Ms. Blackshear, is there a second?
Second motion.
Thank you. The motion's been made by Ms. Blackshear and seconded by Mr. Rouse to move into executive session for personal matters. All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, that motion carries. Okay. I entertain a motion from the board to return, from executive session to, regular session.
I make that motion.
The
Second.
motion's been made by Mr. Rouse, seconded by Mr. Harris to return to regular session. All in favor, please raise your hand. That motion carries unanimously. And in our executive session, we discussed personnel issues. And regarding our superintendent's recommendations regarding CID 4374, long-term sub, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I make that motion.
The motion's been made by Mr. Harris to approve our superintendent's recommendation regarding CID 4374. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been seconded by Mr. Rouse. All in favor, please raise your hand. Those against? That's 3-4, 1 against. That motion carries. Okay, and regarding our superintendent's recommendation regarding EID 4283, is there a motion?
Madam Chair, I make that motion.
The motion's been made by Mr. Harris to approve our superintendent's recommendation regarding EID 4283. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Seconded by Mr. Rouse. All in favor, please raise your hand. That motion carries unanimously. That concludes the personnel recommendations as discussed in our executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn? The motion's been made by Ms. Blackshear to adjourn, seconded by, is there a second? You can sit here until y'all say it. Seconded by Mr. Harris. All in favor, please raise your hand.